you, Dr. Winkler, for those words that spoke the truth of Captain Wirz and of Andersonville. We appreciate you bringing those to us today with such clarity. They will not soon be forgotten. We're fortunate today to also have on stage with us here many distinguished members of our organizations and also descendants of Captain Henry Wirz. It's my distinct honor to first call upon the great-grand-nephew of Captain Henry Wirz from Bern, Switzerland, Colonel Heinrich Wirz. Colonel.
Foreign states and local authorities, members of the United Daughters of the Confederacy, of the Sons of Confederate Veterans, and the Military Order of the Stars and Bars, ladies and gentlemen, dear personal friends. After knee surgery with roboter-assisted mechanical replace, I am thankful to the Lord to be here again to commemorate Captain Henry Wirz, Assistant Adjutant General, Confederate States Army. The date of 10th November 1865 is a very sad day for our families in its history since the 15th century. 154 years ago, my same-named great-granduncle's tragical destiny ended on the scaffold. He was executed in the courtyard of the Arsenal of Washington, D.C. 10:32 a.m., the trap sprang, and the tall man with characteristic beard fell down in the empty space. 250 people with tickets for free access and many lookers-on, even climbing on trees, were attending the horrifying official proceedings. After tormenting minutes of suffocation, the last fight for his life was over. What had happened? Why was Captain Wirz the only officer of both Confederate and Union Army who was arrested, accused, and condemned to death by hanging after a trial of several months? A trial which was, for the first time, under media pressure. Since then, the person Henry Wirz, the prison camp, and the trial are the subject of thorough historical studies, but also of many fictitious novels, plays, and movies. About 30 doctoral dissertations, master's and bachelor theses have been published, one of them in German language at the University of Bern, Switzerland. You realize that the famous case of my great-granduncle, a cause célèbre in French, is fascinating more people than ever since 1865. One of the astonishing connections between the United States and Switzerland after the War of Secession is described in an illustrated catalogue published by Georgia Museum of Art, University of Georgia in 1996. The title is Frank Buxer, a Swiss Artist in America, 1866 to 1871. An impressive masterpiece is the oil painting and last known portrait of General Edward D. Lee, which is property of the Swiss Confederation and hangs in her embassy in Washington. According to Buxer's account, Lee calls the execution of the Swiss-born Captain Henry Wirz after conviction by a kangaroo court presided by General Lew Wallace, as we have heard, the author of Ben-Hur, an act of pure legal murder. By the way, This execution took place on the very spot where now the building of the Supreme Court of the United States bears the inscription, "Equal Justice Under Law." My special thanks go to late Mrs. Margaret Peggy Shevard, the grand old lady of Andersonville. She helped me a lot in my research and brought me together with the Watkins family, the direct descendants of Henry Wirz. I personally thank James and Gaston and his wife Nancy, my local liaison officers, for the long-lasting friendship and hospitality. My thanks go to Mrs. Cynthia Stormcaller, who, as museum curator, is perfectly treating visitors from over the world. John Carroll, as commander, SCV A8 Stevens Camp 78, and all his aides organizing this ceremony. I sincerely thank Major Glenn LaForce and Dr. Albert Winkler for their presentation as guest speakers this and last year. Last but not least, I warmly thank my son Thomas, being such a good aide-de-camp and caretaker of his father. Once again, I very much appreciate all of you being here, and thank you for your actual and future support. My motto comes from Robert E. Lee: do your duty in all things. You cannot do more, you should never wish to do less. God bless you and the so-called sister republics, the United States and Switzerland. Thank you.